Hello everyone. I am going to be gardening today. This is one of the things that really helped me with my grieving process is to garden. Sorry, allergies. Suffer with allergies, and so it's a beautiful, almost spring day, and so things are blossoming and the sun's out, and so I thought I would share the reason why I garden with you. After I do my I'm going to be making a succulent arrangement, but I had maybe like 3 or 4 succulents before my mom passed. And the reason why I'm wearing these gloves is because I'm a germaphobe and I hate dirt, I hate mud. So you would think that that wouldn't go with gardening, but it does because I wear these gloves. I did get gardening gloves when I first started out, but I felt like I kept knocking leaves off of the succulents because they were kind of a little bit bulky. And these, I can feel things through the I don't know what these are, latex gloves, and it's better. I don't get splinters because the succulent mix, the soil has bark in it, and I would get splinters all the time. I do not like dirt underneath my nails. So I found that these work really well for me, and so let's get started. I went to a different, look how huge this thing is. It's as big as my head. Not that my head's huge, but so I went to a new nursery in Sacramento a couple of days ago. I think it was, what's today, Thursday? It was Tuesday, I believe. And I saw these huge succulents and I had to have them. And my husband is very supportive of my gardening because he knows that it is I wouldn't say a coping mechanism, but it's a way that I find my peace. You know how sometimes I say that, music helps me calm down and find my peace. Gardening does too. And that used to not be the case. I hated plants. Not hate, but I did not want any plants. I did not want to take care of any plants. I wasn't trying to take care of any plants. And during the quarantine 2020, I was just, there's nothing really to do, and I kept looking outside in my backyard, and I was like, you know what? I need something pretty to look at. So my husband went to Home Depot and got like some strawberry plants and some pansies, which are my favorite flower, and some succulents. And I never really paid attention to them before, and when he brought them home, I'm like, oh, these are really cool. So I kept those alive for 2 years, and then after my mom died, I came across this account on Instagram, and it was called Plants with Crystal, and she did plant content. She talked about plants and showed herself repotting plants and things like that. And her husband happened to pass away in 2022. I think it was the summer of 2022, and my mom passed away February of 2022, and she started talking about her grief, and just saying that gardening helps her with her grief. And what she was saying really resonated with me. I don't know if she's a woman of faith or not. She doesn't really speak about God in her videos, but what she did speak about with grief really resonated with me, and I was like, well, I'll try that. And I never went back. I have a lot of succulents, and they bring me joy, and my husband is very supportive of it. This is actually called a purple rose, aeonium. I'm not going to try to pronounce the rest of that name, but yeah, their Latin names, or their proper plant names, are hard for me to pronounce. So if there's a common name, I usually use that. And for the longest time, I could not say the word aeonium. It was just really hard for me to wrap my head around that one. My husband is waiting for me to be done filming so we can plant this tree right here. I got that yesterday. It's a black tulip magnolia tree, and I saw that at Lowe's yesterday, and I was like, that is so beautiful. I'm not really into magnolias. I've never seen a magnolia that color before, but my best friend loves magnolias, and also my mom. When I was little, my parents used to be involved in church, and they would have Bible studies, or they didn't used to be involved, they are involved, or were involved, but they would have Bible studies, and the youth would walk to our house, and on the way to our house, along the streets were magnolia trees, and the young men would climb up or reach up and pick magnolias and bring them to my parents' house and give them to my mom. So I've always associated magnolias with my mom and with my childhood. So that's what, so when I saw that and I saw it was a magnolia tree, I was like, oh, you know, it reminded me of that story. But also I'd never seen magnolias that color before, and it really brought a lot of joy to me yesterday. I wasn't having a very good day, and when I saw that, I called my husband, and I'm like, I need you to come here to Lowe's and help me try to load this in my car. I don't have a truck, so we had to lay it flat and stuff. So so yeah, he's waiting for me so we can pick out a spot on our lawn so we can plant that. So this is called a Cressula tarragon, and I liked it because they look like little pine trees, and can't really see the whole thing like this, but kind of reminded me of a bonsai tree. And I did have a bonsai tree last year, and or maybe, yeah, it was last year, and it died. So I've come to realize that I'm not very great with keeping plants alive, but I am pretty good at keeping succulents alive. So I'm going to try to take this out of the pot because I want to put this in here. I was talking to my brother the other day, and I told him if my videos let me move this over. If my videos help just one person in their grief journey, help them to realize that they're not alone, then it's worth it for me, because that's what I struggled with a lot in this grief journey. Feeling alone. So anyways, back to what I was talking about when I first started this video was gardening through my grief. And I just found that it brings me a lot of peace, but it helps me process my grief. And I know that when I first started to garden, like really started, I was in really heavy grief, and I would come when I felt like not getting out of bed. I would make myself get out of bed and come out and garden. And I remember just gardening and crying, and I would listen to music, hopeful music, and it just would really encourage my soul. But you know, I was grieving really, really bad, and so my husband came to realize that when I was out here grieving, that or when I was out here gardening, that I more than likely was having a bad day. So, you know, that was like his, not his, just his way of knowing without me telling him, hey, today's a bad day, you know. And not all days are bad, and not the whole day is bad. I came to think about it as bad moments in the day, because I don't grieve 24/7. I have grieving moments, and some I'm able to handle, and when I don't, I've learned ways of honoring the feelings, because it's very important to know that your feelings matter. And if you're feeling sad or mad or angry or any of those things, it's important to acknowledge them. And then, but I tell my girls, they matter. Your feelings matter, and if you're sad or if you're angry, you know, you can feel that, but don't stay there, you know. And sometimes it's hard to not stay there. And but I'm learning, and I'm trying to teach my daughters that there's room for all the feelings, but in answer to all those feelings is the comfort that only hope can give us, that only God can give us, is we have a hope. You know, we don't grieve as those who have no hope. We have the hope that we're going to see our loved ones who have passed, you know, someday soon. So that's what when I first started gardening, that's what I came outside and did to help feel not alone, and help to get out of the mindset of my mom is gone, you know. So, but as I gardened, instead of going out there only when I was grieving and when I needed a pick-me-up, I got joy out of it. So now, yes, I garden when if I'm having a bad day, or if I'm going through things, but also I garden. I come out here and look at my plants and take care of my plants, because it makes me happy. And that is something that I would have never dreamed that I would be doing, is gardening, you know, I just have everything in pots. I'm not an in-ground type of a gardener, but all my plants are in pots, and they just bring me, I'm looking at all of them now, they just bring me a whole lot of joy. So I'm gonna put this one a little bit at an angle, so that way it has room to grow without impeding on the little pine tree guys. All the stuff that I'm sharing with you, I learned from that lady, Plants with Crystal, because like I said, I wasn't a gardener, but she made gardening seem so easy, like, oh, it's fun and it's easy. And so it's like, okay, I'll try it, and found out that I like it. I don't like the dirty hands aspect of it, so hence the gloves, but that looks kind of cute. Alright, so all these plants are the plants that I got at that new nursery, and they have these cute little guys. Don't ask me what they are, I have no idea. Most of the time I'll take a picture of them and do a Google search with the picture, and it tells me what it is, or it gives me its best guess, and do a little bit more research to see if that's it. These are like little ground cover kind of, it's Corsican stone crop. It's a type of sedum, and they just, to me, they look like little pine cones that are like fall colors. They have a little bits of purple and yellow and orange and light green. So I'm just gonna stick this. I've never really dealt with any kind of stone crop or ground cover kind of thing, so I'm not quite sure what's going to happen when I take this out of the thing. I'm sure they have shallow roots, so it's probably going to make a little bit of a mess, so I'm going to prepare a little spot for it. And these things, I do know that they multiply, so, oh wow, that's different. It has lots of little roots, so maybe it isn't that shallow, but I'm going to try to, there are people walking past, so if you hear voices, that's why. I'm just going to kind of loosen up the top part of the, I just loosened up all around there, so that way it'll just be easier to plop on in there. So I took about half of the roots off, and I'm just going to nestle it in that little spot where I cleared for it, and then I'm just going to, I think I need to do it a little bit deeper. I'm surprised these held up. I was not expecting it to. Oh, okay. That looks cute. I have some dirt here on the side that I think I need a little bit more dirt around there. I'm just, there's like little low places and high places I want to make it all nice and even. And can you see me? So I know this is a little bit of a different video for me today, and I just wanted something, when I post videos and I talk about my mom, it chokes me up a lot, and not every time I remember my mom do I get super sad and emotional. So I wanted to show that you could still experience grief and still go about, you know, regular things, and not regular things, just, it's, grieving doesn't always have to be negative. You can grieve and still, you can grieve with a smile on your face. You know, a lot of people that I've come to notice how people grieve, and there's no right or wrong way. With me, I wanted to, I had already been in therapy before my mom passed, and so when she did, I felt like I had some pretty good helpful things from my therapist that would help me. So I had some, I mean, of course I had some hard days or whatever, but I felt like I had some coping skills, and so I wanted to, I learned that grief is not something you just get through. You go through, and you'll go through for the rest of your life. And I remember this one man, I saw him out and about, and it was about a month after my mom died, and he's like, how you doing? And I'm like, well, I'm grieving. And he's like, oh, you'll get over it. He's like, don't worry, you'll get over it. And to me, I wasn't in the best mindset at the time, and I was just like, I didn't say anything to him, but I was just like, how dare you say I get over it? That's my mom, you know, I'm never gonna get over it. But a lot of people think that grief is something that you get through and not go through, and that's a hard lesson to learn. But once you learn it, once you realize that, hey, you know, you can go days, weeks, months, years. I'm sure I haven't, but I've gone days without thinking about my grief. But when I do, it hits you like as if it just happened. And so the other day I saw a quote. I like to go on Pinterest and read encouraging quotes, and it said, yes, some days I think of you and smile, and some days, or some days I hear a song and smile, and other days I hear the same song and I weep. And it's not word for word, but that the essence of the quote was that, and that is so true. You know, some days I'll hear a song my mom liked, but she liked "Be Alright" by Danny Goki, and I believe it's Evan Kraft. And some days it's a nice, you know, upbeat song, and some days I listened to it because I loved it too. You know, when she was alive, we found that song, and she's like, "Have you ever heard this song?" I'm like, "Yeah, I like it." But there are times where I hear that song and it makes me sad, and it's a upbeat song. So it's just, it's okay to feel all those feelings, because you know what? You're gonna be okay. I don't know what scripture it is, and I'm not even sure if I'm saying it right, but the scripture that says, "Weeping may endure for a moment, but joy comes in the morning." And I wanted to make it through one video without choking it, but I guess I can't, but that's okay. I know that one day I'll see my mom again, and when I do, I'm going to tell her about all the things I missed, all the things that I, you know, as a mom and a daughter, sometimes I'll just say it, sometimes the things that she did, I was just like, oh my goodness, why is she doing that? I miss them. You know, I know my first video that I posted, I mentioned when Ava yells woohoo, my mom did that all the time. And, you know, it's a little, I used to get a little bit embarrassed, you know, because my mom was very joyful person, and and her joy would come out, and that's one of the ways it would, and I would just be like, oh my goodness, you know. But now I wish I could hear her woohoo, and I do. My daughter says it, and she just says it. She doesn't say it because she misses her grandma. That's, my daughter is a joyful person too, and so it's hard, but I know that after all the things that we go through, it's going to be worth it, because God didn't promise us not to go through hard times. He promised that He would be there in the hard times with us and give us strength and comfort, and that is what that is why I can trust God in the hard times. And I was talking to my dad the other day. I'm finished with the arrangement. I'll show it to you after I'm done. I'm going to stick some rocks all around where the dirt is showing. One of the aspects of my loss is a lot of people just realize all the negative that comes from a loss, but one of the positives for me that comes from the loss of my mom is how do I say this? It built up my relationship with my dad. And what I mean by that is me and my dad hardly ever talked on the phone before my mom died. And we really, I mean, I love my dad, he loves me, but we didn't really talk about a whole lot. That's what my mom was for, you know. Not that I meant to just crack up laughing right then and there, but my dad, if I needed to talk to them, I talked to my mom. You know, I would call my mom. I wouldn't really call my dad. to see how his day was going, I'd call my mom. So after she passed, I remember thinking, well, my dad, he stayed with us for 6 weeks after my mom died. And so I kind of got into the habit of the first month my mom died, I couldn't sleep. I struggled with falling asleep. So when my dad would wake up super early in the morning and drink coffee, and I hear him in my kitchen, so I wake up and go out there and see how he's doing. And so we actually like built like a pretty nice relationship, and we talked about our grief, and so that aspect has continued. I try to see him at least. He lives down the street from me. A few months after my mom died, he decided to move to the city where I am, which was only like 10-15 minutes away from where they lived before. But it's been really nice. I'll just call him and be like, Dad, hey, I cooked, or we got pizza, you want to come over? And it's just been that aspect of my loss has been something that is beneficial, that was beneficial, because no matter how old you are, I'm 47, you need your mom, you need your dad, and I don't have my mom anymore, so I've really come to enjoy my talks with my dad. We're a lot alike. I tell my dad I'm a lot like Mom and a lot like you. We're both hard-headed and stubborn, so sometimes we butt heads on things, or we're both have strong opinions on things, but that's okay, you know. He's my dad. He can be wrong. Just kidding. But that part has been an unexpected blessing in this grief, is my relationship with my dad. And it's really it's been a blessing for me, because I think I needed that, especially when my mom's not here. I need that relationship, and I didn't even realize I did until I got it, and I was like, okay, this is great. So anyways, kind of rambled today, and like I said, I'm not sure if I'm gonna post this, but if I do, I'll have to watch it through and see if it's not too horrible of a video. This is something new. Like I said, making videos and posting them for all the world to see is not something that I would ever dream of us doing. But I feel that I've seen people that I know personally, or just scrolling on Instagram and YouTube, videos that encourage are really helpful to especially people who need it, you know, people who need encouragement, and maybe they're not expecting to, they're not going on there to be encouraged, but like this random, you know, video that I came across on Instagram, little tiny video of her sharing her grief and gardening, and it was very helpful. I don't know if I can do this all the time, because it's kind of distracting, and when I make videos, I don't really want to be distracted, and I want to make sure that I'm speaking intentionally and that I make sense. But this was fun. So I don't know how great this looks together. I might, you know, maybe in a few months see how this grows and see. I might change it around. I might take the big AMs out, but it looks okay to me today. Here, let me take a couple of these leaves out really quick so you can see the little stone crop, and that I'm sure will just get bigger. I only bought one of them. But this is what it looks like. The aeonium and the, I don't know what these are called, but they're really cute. They're a little edged with pinkish, reddish. And there we go. And I will talk to you soon.